Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Jury Duty, a Big Brother podcast. Wow, we have a lot to talk about again today, guys. This was a really good episode. I feel like every episode so far has been like very action packed, and it was just great to get into another week. We really saw a lot of questions being thrown back and forth, maybe even a little panic out of people over this 11-2 decision, which surprised me, honestly. I didn't think the 2 rogue votes for Alyssa were that crazy. What do you guys think of the vote tally and what everybody thought of it?
I didn't think the vote tally was that crazy. I thought she should have gotten more. I was surprised she didn't. And also, I just really was very put off by her attitude coming back into the house as she's talking about, oh, you can't send me home. You can't send me home. It was
so you were going to have something to say about that.
It was the very first eviction. I was just like, okay, honey, let's not get that cocky because your ass should go home now just for all that. Those are my first thoughts.
Yeah, I don't see why the 2 rogue votes is such a big deal. And so even a lot of people, there was a lot of speculation that we saw even in the edit of people trying to figure out where they came from. And Claire was the one that was kind of sitting around being like, well, what are you worried about? A 2-person alliance? What does this matter? I don't understand what the issue is.
Right.
I guess the only issue though is that if you assume that everyone is on the same page and then all of a sudden you find out that they're not, I would be concerned because that just means that somebody lied. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You can stand on whatever side you want to stand on. It's the dishonesty so early that it would be concerning to me.
Right.
To a point.
That's all.
Okay. Yeah. And I see it both sides. When the vote first was, when we were first talking about Travis going out and seeing the vote be, 11-2, I thought, who cares? Because this season, everybody's on different teams. And some people definitely feel a strong sense of loyalty to their team and everything. And so I thought we would see some strange vote tallies potentially. But then, I do understand, I think we saw some of the house guests when they came back into the house, they were saying, they thought it was going to be unanimous, and that's what they thought everybody had discussed. So I do understand why there could be some, a little bit of concern. But at the end of the day, I personally don't think it was a huge deal. But we did find out who the 2 rogue votes were, right? It was Derek F. and Tiffany, and for 2 very different reasons. Very different reasons.
Yeah, I don't know that Tiffany needed to do that. She went so far, you kept me safe, thank you. It's okay, well, it's not that big of a favor.
Right.
There was a lot of people to choose from, and it's very early. I didn't really think that he was owed anything for that, but okay.
In my mind, why anybody is still doing anything for Frenchie, I cannot understand.
And it seems to me for the most part, everybody pretty much knows, with the exception of 1 or 2 people, that he can't be trusted. But it's as long as he's here, I need to at least use him for whatever he can offer me. So for Tiffany in particular, there's been a lot of anytime that she's alone in a room, she's talking to the camera being listen, I'm not an idiot. I know what I'm doing. I know that he's not great. I know that I can't trust him, but I need him right now. So as long as he's in the house, I'm going to pretend that I'm aligned with him, but I'm not.
Hey, he's a player. He's a player in the house, he's
a player in the house. And I guess at the same time, if you can paint something like that, that's really not a big deal, as a favor to him, to make him feel like he owes you something down the road. I guess that is good game.
Everybody knew that Alyssa wasn't going home. So even just to throw him a bone of being I did this for you, take it, but hook me up next time,
Yeah, it's just that because he can't be trusted. This brings us now to the conversation that we had. Where was that? In the little side room? I don't even know what we call that now. You know where I'm talking, in that little side room. I guess that's the gym now. Wherever they were talking.
Yes.
And that little conversation happened with Whitney and Brent, and Frenchie was standing there. And see, he already because you know that he can't be trusted, I don't really know that you can really trust that he won't throw you under the bus to kind of further his own thing. So kind of circles back to the whole thing, why did we do this in the first place with somebody so inconsequential, so early on?
And then we saw Derek F give his reason, which was that it was literally a joke from what he said in the episode. He thought
Basically just for fun.
Yeah. Of course, Tiffany, we see her mentioning why she did it. And then right away we see Frenchie in the other room telling everybody, I know who did it, but I'm not going to say, you can't get those names out of me. And if I get evicted, I'll
because I keep my word.
Yeah.
Gross.
Ridiculous.
Like so gross.
We also got in the aftermath of this, of the vote and then live HOH, a really funny moment with Xavier and Kylan in the bathroom. Where Kylan, wants Xavier to come a little closer to talk, and Xavier's immediately no, and just decides that he's going to start ironing these paper towels, which was like
so good.
Yeah, it was like that was like the worst display of anyone trying to hide a convo ever. But then we also got like a great display of people hiding their game talk later on. So we don't have to get that right away.
Really
but
fun. That was fun.
But we did finally get to see Kylan's HOH room then.
Yeah. Yay.
I always love seeing people getting emotional over their letters and hearing from home.
Yeah.
Okay. But all right. It's also week 2. I can't even read it. I thought that was a bit much.
I'm so sorry.
Like, I don't know. Like, okay. Like, it's sweet, but I don't know.
Well, all right.
I thought it was a touching moment. I think Kylan just seems like such a great guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was cute.
And then we got a lot of Tiffany after this. And I know, Gina, you've said Tiffany, you have quite a bit to say about her. But
listen, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Our first episode, one of the first things that I said is Tiffany is the one to watch. And Kyle's rolling his eyes. And everyone's saying, I don't know about Tiffany. And I'm going to take this moment to say, I freaking told you so. Because we saw great moments from Tiffany this episode.
Listen,
don't give me that face.
No.
Don't give me that face.
We did see great moments from Tiffany. However, I'm still going to stand behind what we said episode 1 because we didn't see what you saw. Okay, so not fair. We were going based off of the footage we didn't see. Okay, so not fair. It's not like we were so crazy. But I'm happy to see that what you predicted coming from Miss Tiffany was correct. Okay.
I loved the moment of her like fake crying to Azza in the room to like get everybody to leave so she can be like, all right, now like, let's talk. Like, what's going on?
It's okay. I'm so sorry. I'm just grabbing clothes. It's okay.
I'm just so distraught. And I'm in this house with all these people. I'm away from my family, and my son's like states and states away, and I really miss him, and it's very hard to be in here without him, but really, I'm just faking this crap because I don't want these people to know that Azza and I have a whole strategy about how she can talk to me and I can listen, and they don't even know what's going on.
It was so good. It was great.
Like, it looks like they're both crying, and then a little bit after that, they're both like hysterically laughing.
Yeah, because
like embracing each other.
Someone would come to walk into the room and be like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," and like leave thinking they were interrupting this like really heartfelt moment.
Yeah, that was really brilliant. That was great, and that makes me like Azza more too. I don't know. Anytime I'm seeing two people like that like play together, like I enjoy that, and I enjoy because that also looks to me like the two of them could be final two-ish if they haven't already discussed it. I just like that could be the foundation of something like that, like within the cookout.
I like that dynamic a lot. I think they're a lot of fun.
But then the Wildcard Competition.
I love the Wildcard Competition. I really do.
I like this twist.
It was fun.
I think this twist is great.
And I love that you don't ever really know, because great. Christian won in the first week and he got safety. And like that was huge, but then now you have the next week coming, and you're playing. It's totally different. You never know what you're.
We didn't get the wheel.
Interesting too, how you could impact someone's game that way too, because like obviously you have no idea when that will come up. But if there's a target, who is on the HOH's team, and somebody is presented with that again, and like that's somebody that the house wants out potentially, but they think they're safe because they're on the HOH's team. Well, now depending on what this wild card,
That was dangerously close to happening too. Like had Brent or Frenchie won that competition, Claire would have been out. The Slaughterhouse Alliance was planning on targeting Claire the whole time. The only reason that she's safe is because she happens to be on the team that won. But that was originally going to be the target the whole time. So had Sarah Beth not won, it could have been a disaster.
Now, is there a reason why is Claire such a target?
I think it's just because she has such a good handle on the game. Like everybody knows that she's a super fan, that she really knows, the drill with this whole game. So I think it's just they're threatened by her knowledge and the way that she's set up with like personal relationships in the house and stuff like that.
All right, fair. I was just wondering if she ruffled any feathers or anything like that.
Not that I've seen.
So do we think Sarah Beth made the right decision for her own game, staying on her team and basically like leaving safety on the table?
I do. I do.
I think it's fine. Yeah, I don't think Kylan really cares about Sarah Beth. Like,
I mean, at this point, I don't know that we've seen it in the edit, but there is kind of a secret final two-ish vibe happening between the two of them anyway. So she really was not in any danger whatsoever.
Oh,
so it set her up where she is now in a good place with the other girls, where like no one's going to be angry at her for taking away their safety or anything like that, and she's still not in any real danger.
All right, good. And she stayed on Bay's team.
Yeah.
I would have sacrificed safety to stay with Bay as well.
A fair statement.
I was like, okay, Sarah. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was happy for her. Happy to see she won.
I was actually just more happy to see that Frenchie didn't.
Right.
That was really the only thing I needed. I didn't care who came out of that winning, as long as it wasn't him.
And it's interesting that you say that because Brent, even though he was in the competition, seemed to have the same sentiment. He basically said in his DR after the wildcard comp, he was like, listen, I'm just relieved Frenchie didn't win. Frenchie, obviously, every time I think he hits a low, like he just digs down a little deeper. I mean, he was walking around the house. Was it to Brent that he actually said, he was saying like in the house, like very loud too. Like, what, you didn't think I was going to find out?
Yeah, this was a whole big thing on the feeds as well. Like and it's so funny to me too, because like we were saying last week, it's going to be so interesting to see how he like floats about the house and deals with his alliances now that he's not in a position of power, like just to see how he kind of like falls back into the background. And he very much did not that at all.
He did not. And that doesn't shock me at all.
And it's so funny too, because like in the same way that in the episode it was kind of random of him just being like, nope, I'm out. You thought I wasn't going to find out? And it's like, where did this all come from? It was very much the same. Like they didn't miss anything in that edit. Like all of a sudden he was just like, the team's turning on me. I don't know what's happening. Like you thought that I wasn't going to know that you were talking shit about me. And it's like, who? Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you could kind of see that this was to another level too, because sure, we saw the What the French montage, and we've heard lots of complaints about it, but this was the first time that I actually heard house gets, and I wrote them down in quotes, people describing Frenchie as bizarre and all over the place. I felt spiraling. Like he was in rush. I will say, Kyle, I know you love Whitney, and I wrote down a point for Whitney here because you could tell she is done with Frenchie. He walked in, pointed at her,
she was calling him out left and right this week.
Yeah, she's had it. She's had it.
Especially because he at this point has been outing Slaughterhouse to everybody. Like by going in, it doesn't matter who's in the room. He's just like, I'm out of the alliance. And it's like, well, half these people didn't know there was an alliance to be out of. So thank you. Like even this was a big thing with Sarah Beth, because in him having this like erratic meltdown, she then realized, there's a big alliance in the house. And not only am I not in it, but I'm the only member of my team that's not in it. So this caused like a big conversation between her and the rest of her team being like, listen, I really want to work with you guys. We can't have this where like I'm like on the outskirts of what's going on here. And she was actually trying to propose an alliance between the queens, the kings, and then Derek X, being like, this is the real core group that's actually going to take us far. All these people in the Slaughterhouse, I don't know if we can trust them.
Is the Slaughterhouse now still who we thought it was based on that? Horribly now.
I mean, those are all still the same people. It's just in Frenchie's mind. He literally created this out of nowhere, and he admitted it to Whitney on the feeds. I don't know if it was in the edit, that it was all based on just a vibe he was getting. There was no fact to tell him that people were like plotting against him, but he just in his brain decided that Brent, Whitney, Christian, and Alyssa were now trying to flip the alliance against him.
He's saying he doesn't trust the rest of the Slaughterhouse. Who is the rest of the Slaughterhouse? I guess he shouldn't trust Kylan. Christian, he shouldn't trust.
Frenchie at this moment doesn't trust Alyssa, Christian, Brent, and Whitney. And he thinks that Brent is kind of spearheading this mutiny against him, so to speak.
Mutiny. So he basically thinks the aces is just like coming for him.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
I mean, I suppose it's not untrue.
I mean,
Right.
it kind of what now they don't really want to work with him anymore. But at the time, like the Slaughterhouse was pretty intact and he just decided it wasn't. And that is kind of what tipped everybody off to be like, wait, we can't
And
work
he
with
just
him anymore.
decided no, yeah, of course you can't work with that because he's a loose cannon.
But up until that point, no one was really looking to target him or turn on him.
Well, then I'm glad it happened. Now all we need is for him to lose veto.
Right.
Correct.
Because that's now still like the other scary thing. You know, that as much as I like the wild card competition, it makes me nervous because now these people, they've got 2 shots like to
Right.
get off. And that makes me a little uneasy.
I do wonder, I think the one thing, obviously Frenchie's got a chance to win the veto, take himself off. But I mean, unless he wins it, I mean, it's very slim. I feel like the number of people that might consider taking him down. Like he really has to win. Like he can't.
Yeah,
can't depend on
I don't
anyone
see
else.
a world where anybody else is going to kind of throw him that bone.
No, and I think it would be too risky too anyway at this point. Because
Right.
is that really who you'd want to like? You're kind of risking your game a little bit, right?
Right.
If you kind of protect him.
We'll see how tired they are of him, because maybe it'll be a case of where the other players decide, let's just make sure he doesn't win. And we'll see how tired the house really is of him.
Already though, if he does go out this week, I would really love to see him back in a battle back.
So
Oh man.
at least pre-jury, it doesn't look likely that we're going to see one because I saw Travis doing exit press.
Oh no.
Well, hold out hope for jury, I guess. A jury battle back, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be fun too, and I guess that probably does make more sense with like pandemic and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that does make a little bit more sense. I guess that does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
That's
didn't
just
put
this
Travis.
is too bad.
They didn't put him back into sequester after he was voted out, so I have to assume he's not eligible to come back.
Good to know, but also you really popped my balloon there.
I'm so sorry.
So we
on the block,
have yeah. So we've gotten to the nomination ceremony.
Yeah.
Kylan does his one-on-ones. We see a lot of similar sentiments about who he thinks who people think he should go after, except for one dissenting voice at the end.
One.
Miss Brittany.
Yeah. She kind of seemed on the fence there. It didn't seem like a hard dissent. It looked like she was kind of like flip-flopping.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I didn't think she flat out said no, but she made me nervous.
I don't know if she was trying to be careful in what she was saying, but it was clear that she had a different opinion than most other people that came into that room to talk to Kylan.
Absolutely. So no, I thought it was the right move to put her up. Not necessarily because we want her to go, but because we know that if she wins veto, she'll take herself off before she takes him off. So I thought that was a nice move. I guess I'm only concerned for her because should this go awry and Frenchie wins and he comes off, I don't know who would go up next to her. And then, I mean, that's concerning for her.
Yeah.
Which clearly, because she's pissed.
Oh, she's very
She
mad.
really is. She's very upset. That's one of the things that I'm most interested to see. And I think, we'll probably get that even before we see the veto count, we might see some chatter about like who's Kylan thinking about. Because I really have no idea. Have you heard anything on the feeds? Has there been any chatter, Gina, about like, should one of these noms come down, who would I replace them with?
I mean, I haven't necessarily seen the conversation with Kylan, but a lot of people are throwing Brent's name out there as a possible renom. So I'm not sure if that could be a possibility, because I don't know if Kylan has been involved in any of these conversations, but I have heard a lot of chatter of using his name in there.
I definitely don't love that. Brent is backup bay. And what did he do? Like, for what reason?
I think it was he was Frenchie's like right hand man, so to speak. We haven't seen a lot of it in like the aired footage, but he's been ruffling a couple of feathers. As I've said, he's not my favorite person in the house, but he's also not widely liked by a number of people outside the Slaughterhouse. Like your Tiffany's, your Oz's, your Claire's.
Huh.
Tiffany trousers. All right, well, fine. I mean, listen, I don't know, man. Like, what do I know?
I actually, Brent, he's definitely not my favorite, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff on the feed and stuff.
It doesn't bother me any more or less than anybody else. I just think he's pleasant to look at,
I kind of feel bad because I feel like there was a point where he was like the furthest thing from aligned with Frenchie, and then they had that one heart-to-heart after Frenchie won HOH, and Brent was just like, "Yeah, I guess I'll cozy up to the HOH," and it's like, "No, dude,
yeah,
no."
Frenchie just straight up decided like, "This is my guy."
Right, and that's so unfortunate. Like, you read the room, like,
yeah. But
and it's so funny because like if we are talking about people that are closely aligned with Frenchie, Derek F is big time like, no, this is my ride or die. I love Frenchie. This is my guy. It's wild to see.
I'm surprised by that too. Yeah.
I don't know if this is a conversation that we might see on Wednesday, but I have to talk about it because it actually made me laugh out loud. It was just Frenchie and Derek F sitting in the living room talking about like, Frenchie was nervous because now he's on the block. He doesn't know what to do. And Derek F was like, no, listen, like, I'm going to do anything that it takes to make sure that you stay here. Like, you and I could be better than Derek and Cody if you just stick around a little while longer. And I said, there is no way that
you're already not better than Derek and Cody. Like, what are you talking about?
A wild statement.
Unless he's just saying that. Like, do you think he really like believes that?
Yeah, there was a part of me that was really holding out for like maybe in his DRs we'll see that he's just like blowing smoke up his ass.
Yes,
like, no, I don't really think that, but it's not looking that way from what I'm seeing.
No.
There's a possibility, but it's doubtful.
Yeah, at this point, if you haven't seen it elsewhere, then it probably isn't. It probably isn't so. Yeah, he probably means it. Poor dear.
I just for the life of me can't understand why.
No.
But Derek F is in the cookout also.
Yes.
Don't like none of those people like Frenchie.
No, that's why.
What's going on?
Like where that's
I don't understand.
Maybe he was just blowing smoke, but I mean, he did say that to him from the very beginning. Like they had said, like, "Oh, we're going to go to the ends." He's like, "I'm not playing any games. We should be together. We should be together." I mean, I'm just surprised that we haven't jumped ship at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's definitely a very odd situation there. That's one to keep an eye on for at least the next week, unless Frenchie goes on. But
oh, we really hope so. We really hope so.
But again, it's like we were talking about the other day. Like, yeah, sure, we want him to go home, but do we? Because he makes great TV.
Right.
I'd love to see if somebody else makes good TV too, though.
Sure.
I'd love to see because
he's messy.
Yeah, like it's quickly becoming not fun. It was exciting before, but like now it's like, okay.
Even like watching the feeds, like especially during the point where he was running around to everyone in the Slaughterhouse, I'm out. It was stressing me out. I was like, why do I feel like my game is on the line?
Yeah, because it's so uncomfortable to watch. You're literally watching somebody like self-sabotage. Mm-hmm. And it's becoming uncomfortable TV, in my opinion.
I really thought that Frenchie would have like calmed down a little bit by now too.
You would think that because he's not the head of everything this week, he would have like floated back into the background and been like, all right, let me like try to get a little bit of this target off of my back.
Yeah, but I guess it's also very unnerving to like go from being in charge to then being on the block. Like, so like that's, that is the recipe for a spiral, I think. Right.
Yeah. I feel like we've seen people come in before though and get HOH and go on that power trip and look like they really ruined their game. And then they seem to sort of like say, okay, I'm going to kind of like sink into the distance now. Like, like kind of let everybody forget about me. And I just feel like Frenchie, it doesn't matter. It could be good news. It could be bad news. It could be something secret. It could be something he's going from room to room. like he's just, it's bizarre. Like
based in nothing.
Yeah. Like it's just, I figured, what are we 10 days in? Something like that now? About that. Yeah. Right. Like, I know he was a big, brother fan and everything going into the house. I'm sure he was very excited coming in and then winning HOH right away. But Now, 10 days from now, all right, let's catch our breath. Let's start to slow down a little bit here.
Yeah,
And
let's
he
try
just
to
seems
settle
like,
in.
yeah, he seems like he's always been on one speed, one setting, and it's just go, 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 go. Like, don't think.
Yeah, it's like he came into the house and immediately was like, I'm gonna make history, and never really like took a break to be like, let me do like the slow burn to get to that point. It was just like, nope, day one, I'm gonna make the biggest move I can make. And it's like,
Well, I mean, he is making history. I won't soon
Sure.
forget this.
Yeah. And maybe he just played so poorly in the beginning that like he felt it made him so desperate and so paranoid that like he doesn't know what else to do now. Oh boy. All right, guys, and thank you so much for joining us for episode 3 of Jury Duty, a Big Brother podcast. It's been a great week already so far. We still have a couple more episodes to see this week, so cannot wait to come at you with our next episode, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.